Hey guys, look forward to 30 here and welcome to the behind the scenes of the Jack and Joe's funny moments animations that I made for both of the channels. So in this video I'll be going over how I made it, the special little details that I did even though there weren't all that many, and how just the entire project came to its part. So everything was kinda like made like 6 months ago when I started. I was only animating in Cinema 4D back then for like 2 months or so my animation skills weren't all that big yet, which you can also very clearly see in the quality of it. Joe's animation was already finished like 3 months ago, I think. Took me quite a while to finish it because I didn't really enjoy it, animating it all that much. In the end, that is. Jack's animation took 3 months of actually hard work. I animated every day, like in the last month I animated every single day for at least 2 hours, usually 3, maybe sometimes even 4. So that one really took a long time. The animation at first was actually rendered in 50 FPS, but Jack rendered it in the end in 24 FPS, making half the render time for nothing. Like rendering already took like in total with Jack and both Joe's animation 120 hours at least. But yeah, well, let's get into the first scene of Joe's animation. I also want to know that some textures might be missing because this is a very old project. But as you can see right here, I put like a little, well, at least I gave a nice water texture a try. So right here, the creeper flies up. I just put a simple little plane right here and just made the creeper disappear. It's not really all that special, not gonna lie. So here they just kinda like scream, and here you can already see that I wasn't really all that experienced back then because you can easily see the movement of this, and here it just like snaps. Luckily nobody really noticed that. So here we have scene 2 with Joe talking about turkey's chest and the chest. I put like a little cloth on here, but I barely knew how to actually use them, so every scene they just kept on falling again. And these carrots actually move if you pay close attention to them. Probably nobody actually noticed it. I actually placed these trapdoors as well so that they would actually like be 3D as well. The glass was actually also placed down myself. I actually made these sets all myself. I recreated every single scene that you actually see. And if you pay close attention, like here I actually used to do the mouth actually shut. But if you pay close attention to this is actually the mouth controller. He actually still, the jaw actually still moves, which I found was a nice little detail, even though probably nobody actually noticed it. But I thought it was a nice little detail. So the other scene is pretty much exactly the same. Not really all that much of a difference. Not really that interesting, not gonna lie. This is still something that I'm not really proud of. The movement of him right there. Hold on, let me remove Joe real quick so that's actually a bit more quicker. The movement here is like very, like way too much, which I didn't really like all that much. Same for when he hits the table. It doesn't really look all that great. When the chair falls over, it's kind of like a fast movement, but it did the job that it had to do, so I'm still okay with the result. Then we have the scene of Joe actually finding one little Easter egg that I put in here. So what I did was like I put these little 3D bookshelves right here. I put a computer screen down here and everything with an actual computer. And I put 50 Shades of Grey in here, but I didn't know how to model back then. So this is actually why am I lagging? So this actually isn't mapped correctly. And I actually now see that it's actually like through the keyboard, but I thought it was a nice little detail. For the rest, it isn't really all that special. Like when he gets angry, his pupils get a little bit more tiny. But that's some small details that probably nobody actually saw. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward for the rest, not gonna lie. Then scene 6 never became a thing, so we're now instantly to scene 7. Scene 6 wasn't really all that enjoyable, so I kinda like skipped it. And here I just used the auto wall called the rig. It's actually like a very easy little feature that just lets you like, it pretty much just lets people walk automatically. so I didn't have to do anything. It's actually my skin, well, my old skin when I was just like normal Herobrine. A nice detail that I found right here is the eyes actually get bigger. Like if you like look very closely, they actually become a little bit bigger right here. And here I activated a little like a little sparkle. And look, you can actually see there's a little sparkle on there. Now the eyes reflection is on, but luckily they didn't render that. So yeah, I thought that was a nice little detail. Then we have like a little hacker cage. I just use world download to download this entire map. I actually put it all in here, making the scene very laggy back then. This is a scene that I actually never rendered out, I think. I probably should have actually rendered this out in the end, not gonna lie. This was decent quality. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot that I even had this scene. Oh, that's a shame. I actually never finished it, but well, things happen, I guess. I'll make a little preview render of this to put it afterwards. So here we actually have the new rig that I still use nowadays. It's actually like a whole lot more advanced. Like say I will go this, like the head actually moves and everything. Even the eyes like get like a bit more tiny when you move the mouth. It's a very nice and advanced rig. Rig. Here I'll start like learning a little bit more how to actually make things like a bit more cartoony. The only downside was is that the mouth never actually closed. The mouth actually never really closed right here, making it look like his mouth was just open. So what I did here to make everything like a tiny bit more smoother is I actually moved the hedge cross controller, which it actually has. Hold on, let me just turn on the controllers. So this one actually completely moves the entire time. So if you take a close, if you pay, probably nobody actually noticed it, but it just gave that small little extra smoothness. So like here it's kind of like to the front, and it goes back here, and then it's kind of like turns to the left, and here it's right again, which I thought was a nice little small detail. So what I did here was put him on the table, and I actually put some detail in the in his hands as well. Like if you look right here on the frames, these are actually all movements. I actually tried to make it so that the hands were actually still on the table, even though I could probably have done it in another way, a way easier way. So apparently I have two scenes that I never finished. You know, I thought that I was like completely done with the animation, but I guess I never actually finished the entire animation. Ah, well, the more you know. So right, let's time to move on to Jack's animation, one that actually had more quality. Quite some time actually passed from this time over to the other one because I was working on my movie that never became a thing. I'll probably upload a video of all animations that I ever made, because pretty much all of my cinema 4D animations never came out. I've worked 8 months I think in cinema 4D, and Jack and Joe's animations are the only two that actually came out. So if you guys actually want to see like a little animation, like all my animations from my first animation till the point of now, then make sure to comment that, because I'll just like put them together a little bit. Actually, I'm also gonna take this time right here to announce that once I'm done with Jack's new outro, which I'll be working on, and some other tiny little projects that some friends or staff want, then which should take a month, I'll be working on my own animated series that Jack is also one of the main voice actors in. He has already sent over his voicing, so we're just waiting for my new microphone, because yes, I'm gonna be buying a new microphone. It's gonna be the same one as Jack. And then I'll be working on my own animated series called The Player. The set is already built. We've built our own set. Well, at first it was gonna be an adventure map, but we never finished it. So we're kind of like just now working on the set. You'll see some like little pictures that I already made, or like some in the actual map. It's gonna be having his own like realistic texture pack and everything, and it's gonna be quite the cool series if I think so myself. Episode 1 is already completely written, so I'm pretty much already ready to fully animate it because the set's already done. Alright, enough self-promotion, let's go to Jack's funny moments. At first I had like a whole lot more in mind, but things just took too long. The first scene was actually this one. Jack edited it a little bit, but this was actually the first scene. Not gonna lie, it was a little bit too fast than I actually had in mind. It moved very quickly, which when I was animating I didn't realize, which is kind of like a shame. I actually didn't world download this thing myself. I actually had to rebuild the entire thing, which took quite some time. There's like little modeling details that nobody actually ever noticed. Like I actually put some moving sugar cane in here. No, but that's something that you actually never saw. But these chests are actually modeled myself. I actually had to place these in myself because otherwise they would just be full blocks and look very weird. A small little detail that probably nobody knows is that the fingers actually go down as well when he actually goes there. Here his fingers also move. I really like using the fingers. I still already do, because I've always wanted them, and in the previous version there were no fingers, so I used them a whole lot when I had the new rig. So this one is actually the first one that you actually see. That's a nice face. So kind of like what the plan was here, like, is that he just like fell off. So what I actually did right here is if you go to the control, I actually moved this up a little bit, so that his body would actually get like a little bit longer, just for that kind of like extra scream effect. So here I just thought it would be funny if he was actually just like just fell like down like 2 blocks, making him have no fall damage or anything, but him just still screaming. And here you kind of like have Jack like kind of like thinking like, just get out of there, like just stop overreacting. So yeah, well, that one. Then we have number 3, which actually had my own. I actually modeled this pufferfish myself. I actually just used 2 planes, because if you look right here, it doesn't have a face, but there it does, to make it look like it's actually a pufferfish, you know, and not like 2-sided thing. I kind of did want also to tease Jack a little bit because of the noise, you know, the beautiful noise. A small little detail that I added in here as well is these fingers actually bounce with the hand, like if you can see like it I don't know how to describe it. Well, you see what I mean, like here it's more open than here. So yeah, that was a small little detail that I added, which I thought looked pretty nice. The mouth really moved quite a lot, which I liked back at that time, but now I've reduced it a little bit because it was kind of getting too tall. I mean too big, making screaming look weird. Right, moving on to the next scene. We have seen this is actually one. Well, because here I started actually animating on my laptop as well, so I actually never really finished it right here. Well, here you actually see how I actually animate. I don't immediately animate with the full-on rig because it's way too laggy. So one fun fact: at one point you see Tail, the stone lava creeper talking. It actually, when I actually fully rendered it out and I showed it to Tail told me that it wasn't actually Tail. It turned out to be Zombie Duck. But I'd never spoken to any of those before, so I just thought, like, it's probably Tail, but it turned out to actually be Zombie Duck. That's fault of my part. But yeah, this is a fun little detail. Tail actually never appeared in the animation. He never spoke in the animation. And it was actually Zombie Duck, which apparently was in the TeamSpeak call, which I didn't even know. So, fun fact. So right here, I think I just like made this. I actually modeled it. Well, I UV mapped it so that it wasn't like weird, so that it actually had like the correct size of pixels. This is no cookies, by the way, if you're wondering. Well, yeah, not too much happening in here. I actually built this thing myself as well with world edit because I'm lazy. So yeah, looks decent. Doesn't really look like a faction base, not gonna lie, but I mean, I don't know, I live in a cave. So here we have one that I'm pretty pleased of, if I say so myself. Hold on, let me set this to 0, because I actually removed some characters, because this, if you see how many frames these actually are, I think this was actually 2340 frames, and rendering took absolutely ages. I've actually had to render 2 weeks just to get this done. It was a whole lot of frames. So here we just have like a visual. And like I've actually, these chairs were actually modeled by myself. I gave modeling a little bit of a try, and this is what I came with. This is actually movable as well. Like it moves nice. You can kind of like make it smooth, even right here. You can kind of move it, which I actually did like a little bit, for that nice extra detail. Hold on, let me try to grab the thing right here. There we go. So as you can see, it moves here like a little bit, and once these like steps up. No, this is apparently like something, because I was kind of lazy with animating. These actually aren't framed. These actually have a vibrator on them so that they keep on moving, but they kind of like, yeah, they kind of like made that look weird and snappy, which I just pretty much hope that nobody would actually notice. So here he just like kind of like runs. The running looks very weird, but he actually does run. And this part is actually one of the hardest parts that I've ever animated. I have a whole lot of difficulties animating this. Like here it already goes through the entire thing. It was very hard because like I wanted to make it look natural. So here he jumps on one arm, but then like here his arm kind of like gets in the way, so I had to quickly move it, the other arm there, and then place that one there, which was pretty difficult, not gonna lie. So in here you see like another weird of his movement. The running truly didn't look good, but it didn't have to, because you don't notice it because it was so fast. But the movement's very strange. But I mean, it did the job. It was everything that it needed to, and nobody ever like complained about the movement. So I guess it was fine in the end. And then we have the last scene, which I was pretty proud of. I really liked the way it looked, and I actually made that skin myself. I'm sorry that there's textures missing because I animated this on my laptop. But if you pay close attention, you actually have 3 planes right here that actually flow out of the glass. Probably nobody actually noticed it, but I thought it was a nice little detail. The things actually bounce off Joe, I think, except for that one, but that one actually moves out. I also used a little bit of a cloth effect to make this tie move, which I thought was a nice little detail. One thing was though, at the moment rendering was taking too long. I was kind of getting to the deadline of the upload date, and one frame took like 5 minutes, and making it be hold on, let's see, edit project settings, making it 900 frames would take way too long. So if you pay close attention to the back there, one of the lights actually, like, I had to delete one of the lights because it was just impossible for me to keep on rendering with that render time. I actually modeled here quite myself. I actually modeled these chests, the doors, carrots, the gate right there, the glass. There's actually even here also, like, I don't think a lot of people actually noticed, but this was actually like supposed to be that Jack like smashed Joe into the wall. At first I was gonna animate it, but I didn't have enough time, and I really wanted this to be uploaded because it took 3 months, and I was kind of like getting tired of it. But like I've actually put like a little hole in here, which I thought was a nice little detail. Although I don't think a lot of people actually notice it because it's glass, which makes it transparent. Which is a shame, but I mean, in the end I don't really mind. And as you can see right here, I actually put these in here so that they would actually be 3D. instead of like see-through. So that was a little detail that I did as well. So the fist was also actually modeled by me. And I used a little bit of a bend tool, if I can select it, so that the fist would actually kind of like move a little bit smoother. And what I did right here was just, this one is actually parented to his head, and the one that was parented to his head just gets teleported out. You know, just like move very, very, very far away. So here I kind of like wanted to make him look angry. If you take close attention, you see that it's kind of moving through his fingers. I put like a cloth collider on there. Once his fingers closed, like 2 times he grabbed the tie and made it like stretch a whole lot, and it would just like shoot back, making it look very ugly. So I had to unfortunately make it look a little bit weird. Well, yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of this behind the scenes. It's not really all that special. I'm not all that good yet in animating. I'm kind of like know the pixel part of it, but I'm not all that experienced yet. I'm still learning. So if you want to see more of these, make sure to leave a like or comment. Although I'll first be working on Jack's outro, which I haven't really started on yet, but it's still gonna be the same movement of Jack humping, I guess, a diamond hoe. But then just with this rig and a nice background with some Easter eggs in the background. So leave some suggestions down as Easter eggs if you want to. Leave some suggestions, etc. And well, I hope you enjoyed, and maybe you actually like got to learn something from this. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.